Good afternoon to you. Mark Sudduth, HurricaneTrack.com, here with your hurricane outlook and discussion for Saturday, September 29th, 2018. Hope your weekend is going well. Been busy here in Wilmington. Gosh, there are so many people in town now. I know I mentioned that yesterday. I was out and about today getting some things done, and boy, the traffic, just all the extra people coming in for storm restoration, etc. Whew! And we don't even have all the college kids here. UNC Wilmington, they're coming back soon. Anyhow, let's take a look at what's going on in the tropics. Life goes on no matter what's happening here in Wilmington. We do have Rosa, and this is going to be a problem for the southwest United States, the Baja, northern Baja, Gulf of California region. Now we have Tropical Storm Sergio, which we'll have to watch. This is several days away, more than 10 days away from being any kind of a problem, but I suspect that it too could try to make its way towards somewhere on the west coast, southwest United States. Here is Leslie, a subtropical storm. Eventually, I do believe this will transition into a fully warm core tropical system and just mill around over the Atlantic, racking up ace points. Tropical Storm Kongray. This is going to eventually head up towards Japan, where right now Typhoon Trami, still causing a lot of problems in the southwest portions of the islands of Japan. Remember, Japan is not one island. It's a lot of islands, and you've got the Ryukyus, or however you pronounce it, and James Reynolds, Earth Uncut TV on Twitter. We'll pull him up in a minute. I'll just show you, doggone it. He's covered that really well. A remarkable gentleman out there. I really respect what he does. So that's the stage. Let's look at the players one at a time. There's Leslie. No problems in terms of any impacts for land areas. And if we look at the, they didn't even, I clicked on it. Why did it do that? That's weird. It's not supposed to do that. You're supposed to get the tracking map, and there isn't one. Well, something's gone awry with the Hurricane Center site. Whatever. Hopefully not the same here for Rosa. Rosa's going to impact portions of the Baja here, where we do have tropical storm watches. And then, yeah, that's a tropical depression not far from Yuma, Arizona, and not too far south of Las Vegas, Nevada. That's southwest Arizona there. And it's, I'm going to show you the satellite in a minute. It's trying to make a comeback, Rosa is. But the water temperatures up this way are cooler, and thus the air mass is cooler and more stable. And so Rosa will gradually spin down and lose its wind energy, but the moisture transport, because of this trough and upper level energy back over here, is going to squeeze out that moisture over the Baja and Mexicali in Mexico there, Yuma, Arizona, Tucson, maybe. Phoenix, yes. Wickenburg, yes. Payson, Scottsdale, Grand Canyon, probably Vegas, maybe St. George, Utah. And as such, I have decided I am going. I got my plane ticket. Everything's all set. And I'll be flying out early Monday morning. And I'll be in Phoenix, Arizona by 10 a.m. Phoenix time. Amazing how the time zones make that such a short trip. It's the closest to time travel that we'll probably ever get. So yeah, I'm going to go, and for you Android users, and I'll talk about this more tomorrow, we're going to try something that hopefully the folks that have our Android app, the Hurricane Impact on Android, it's not available to buy right now because I'm not going to sell something that doesn't work, but we're going to try something. And if it works during Rosa, this field mission, then we might have a solution to our live video problem for our Android users that could be universally acceptable and workable for the iOS and the Android platform, and boom, we're back in business on both platforms. Stay tuned. We'll talk more about that. But what I'll be doing, I'll be taking 3 camera systems with me. No storm surge, there might be some wind and certainly some rain, but I'm looking for the flooding, these dry washes, the arroyos. I know the area pretty well. I've been out there a few times. I'm fascinated by what happens out here when you have heavy rainfall, especially from a tropical source. And I'm going to place the cameras ahead of time during the day Monday, and we see what we get. Do we capture a flash flood live? And then I'll basically kind of chase the rain blobs, if you will, in my rental using Interstate 8, and this is approximate down here, Interstate 10 and 17 up here, in and around the Phoenix area. Phoenix has some easy access points, and that'll be how I get out and about, and we can see what's going on. And I intend to stream it live as well on YouTube. Since we shouldn't have power outages and big problems like we did in Florence, where your whole infrastructure goes out, I should be able to bring you this live. We'll see. Keep our fingers crossed. We'll talk more about impacts here. Heavy rain. I mean, that's the main thing. Maybe some strong wind, maybe a depression as it comes up here. And you could get some 35, 40 mile per hour wind gusts, especially in the higher elevations. You can see those higher elevations right in here. That's a good example from the colors that you see on the infrared. And look at Rosa itself coming back from being kind of in a weakened state. The eye is more prevalent. It'll definitely weaken as it gets up here, and then this moisture will be transported in to the southwest and from California to southern Nevada, a good deal of Arizona, southern Utah, maybe Colorado, maybe New Mexico. We're going to have to just see how all of this sort of sloughs off and shears away and comes into the region. It's very difficult to pinpoint ahead of time. And as I'll show you in a moment, that's why flash flood watches are up and will continue to be hoisted, if you will, across a large area. This is Sergio, going to kind of go out here, then I bet it comes back at some point and tries to make a run at the southwest U.S. or northern Mexico, more than 10 days away. Look, there is Leslie trying to build that convective curtain, if you will, around itself, trying to close off and become more tropical in nature instead of spread out like an ocean storm that we would see in the winter, for example. And here we do have the remnants of Kirk. Just won't go away, all stretched out. I mean, my goodness. Still a lot of moisture with it, though. Maybe this ends up over in this region. Models are trying to indicate some sort of lowering of the pressures across this area in the next week to 10 days. And, you know, you can go and look at the GFS at 300 hours on a specific run, and you can find a hurricane that comes up and hits North Carolina. Sure. But that's way out in time. Too much chaos to even worry about it. What we need to focus on is the pattern, and the pattern will favor a lowering of pressures in this area as we get into October. It's the natural progression of things, so there's no surprise there, and it's where we're headed overall with the pattern. As this stuff starts to die off, this will become more favorable. That doesn't mean something will absolutely develop. It's just a window of opportunity. All right, so here's the national map, finally getting rid of all the greens over here as the rivers die away, whatever. I mean, sadly, they are dying. The floodwaters die away. That's what I want to say, drying up. So our attention will be focused out here. Another tropical cyclone, this time impacting the southwest United States. And we'll see much more of this action developing over the next few days. I will talk about it on my future discussions. And in our app, under the tracking section, I'll have radars and key information right there in the app. And I'll point it out here as well, of course. So get ready. If you're out there, you know, you live there, you're visiting there, you know people there, this could be a 1 to 2 day big time rain event, and there will be flash flooding. Guarantee it. It's coming. And look at this from Alan Gerard here. I follow him on Twitter. I like smart people. I follow them. I don't know everything, so I surround myself with people that help me. You know the expression, between me and my brother, we know everything? You know, some people say that. Well, between myself and the 142 people that I follow on Twitter, I know everything, all right? Or at least I try to. So, yeah, the QPF, Quantitative Precipitation Forecast, amounts are shifting eastward with Rosa, more in line with the GFS models. The Euro, a rare cave to the GFS, and its grouping. And boy, that's a lot of rain over some areas that could flood, and that is why I am going. I have a real passion for this out here. It's totally different It's amazing. It can be damaging. Don't get me wrong. This is dangerous for people that live there, and I got to be careful too, of course. But it's amazing when you get dew points in the 70s and tropical air over the desert, and it rains 2 inches. And I go, 2 inches? What? Can we get that in 15 minutes in Houston? And it's not too big of a deal. I mean, but that's Houston or Jacksonville, Florida, or Orlando, or Miami. Right, 2 inches is not that problematic, but in the desert, it is, and it could be dramatic as well. So I'm going to be on top of that. All right, let's look at the Atlantic over the next week. Not much to show. Kind of weird art form here. Like a nose and a couple of eyes right there. I don't know what that is, but that's what the pattern shows. It's like a Rorschach test or whatever, right? And there goes Leslie, finally gets booted out. You also see not much energy in the Caribbean. High pressure sitting over the southeast. The summer that won't quit, blah, 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 blah. I mean, my goodness. A few impulses trying to come off Africa still, but nothing jumping out over the next week. So it looks like I can go to Arizona for a few days without too much worry of something brewing over here by surprise. So here's Rosa. It comes up across the Baja. The energy kind of dissipates, comes into the desert southwest here. I don't even know where it is. Maybe it just sits there. I don't know. Then it pops up over here in Colorado, making a trip to Denver, perhaps. But lots and lots of moisture is coming. That's a given. And you see that upper level energy coming in right there, that trough at the beginning. This is, I think, 5 days of animation. And that allows Rosa to come right on up, kind of attracted to it like a magnet. And I will be too. I'll be headed out there Monday morning. I'll have bloodshot eyes and whatever, but I'll survive it. I did that going to Hawaii for Lane, and I survived that. So I can survive a trip to Phoenix. One plane change in Charlotte, and then I am there. Piece of cake. And I think that it could be pretty successful. I got a few places in mind, some people I'm going to meet up with that I've wanted to meet for some time, and I'm going to get to do that. So it's going to be an interesting time for sure. I'll be back tomorrow, probably early afternoon, do an update and give you the latest, all right? Have a great rest of your Saturday. Thanks, as always, for tuning in. Real quick, don't forget I am on Patreon. It's growing. Let's keep it growing, please. We don't want it to stop because that's how I get paid in the off season, so to speak. We can't just, well, Mark, if there's hurricanes, we'll hook you up. It's got to be a long-term, sustaining effort so that I can pay the bills and continue to do this without worry. So right there, okay? Right there. Patreon. Whoops, trying to draw on it. Help me. Patreon.com/HurricaneTrack if you want to support the creative efforts of yours truly. I appreciate it. Have a great rest of your Saturday. Enjoy the football and the golf and the whatever. I'm going to enjoy the kids and trying to get the house back in order from the hurricane. All my equipment, all the stuff. I got to get it ready, and then I got to go again, which is fine. I love my work. I will talk to you again tomorrow. Thanks for watching. I'll have more for you on Sunday.